Let me ask you something. What's the first thing you do when you wake up on a winter morning? You pull the blanket tighter. You curl up. You dread putting your feet on that cold floor. And when you finally step outside, that cold hits your face and you say, God, it's freezing out here. Simple, obvious. Everyone understands cold. Now, let me ask you a slightly different question. What exactly is cold? Not how it feels. What is it? What is the stuff hitting your face? What is the thing making your floor unbearable at 6 a.m.? Take a moment. Try to define it. Most people say cold is the opposite of heat. Cold is what happens when heat goes away. And that sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Hot and cold. Two opposite forces, like light and dark, like up and down. But here's the thing that's going to bother you for the rest of this video. Cold doesn't exist. Not as a thing. Not as a force. Not as something that travels or moves or does anything at all. Cold is not real the way you think it is. And I don't mean that philosophically. I mean it physically, measurably, scientifically. Cold is an illusion created by your nervous system to help you survive. But it has no independent existence in the universe whatsoever. That freezing wind on your face, it's not cold entering your body. It's heat leaving. And that distinction changes everything about how you should understand temperature, energy, and reality itself. Here's my innocent little question for today. If cold isn't real, what are you actually feeling when you say something is cold? And why does your brain insist on lying to you about it? Most people go their entire lives thinking temperature is about two competing forces. Hot things push heat into you. Cold things push cold into you. A fireplace warms you because it sends heat your way. An ice cube cools your drink because it sends cold into the liquid. And I want to show you very carefully, layer by layer, why that thinking is completely, fundamentally, beautifully wrong. Not because your experience isn't valid. Your experience is real. But because the universe operates on principles that have nothing to do with how evolution designed your skin to interpret energy transfer. And here's what makes this fascinating. Once you understand what temperature actually is, you'll never touch a metal railing on a winter day the same way again. You'll understand why that railing feels colder than the wooden bench beside it, even though they're the exact same temperature. Let's add our first layer. What if I told you that one of the most basic sensations you experience every single day doesn't actually exist? What if I told you that your own body has been lying to you your entire life? I'm talking about cold, that biting wind, that shock of jumping into a pool, the frost on a window pane. We talk about catching a cold as if it's a thing you can grab. But science has a secret for you. There is no such thing as cold. To understand this, we have to go back to basics. What is temperature? Forget what you think you know. Temperature is not a substance. It's not a fluid. It's not something you can bottle or pour. Temperature is simply motion. Specifically, it's the average kinetic energy of the molecules bouncing around inside a material. Let's make that concrete. Picture a steaming cup of coffee. Inside that cup, countless water molecules are in a frenzy. They're vibrating, spinning, and colliding with each other millions of times per second. That frantic dance is what we call heat. The faster they move, the hotter the coffee is. Now, picture a glass of ice water. It's made of the exact same H2O molecules. But here, they're moving slowly. They're sluggish, less energetic. That's why it feels cold. It's not because something called cold has been added. It's because energy, or motion, has been taken away. This is the crucial insight. There is no such thing as cold energy. Cold is not the presence of something. It is the absence of something. Cold is what's left behind when heat energy leaves. Think about darkness for a moment. Darkness isn't a physical thing you can create or project. You can't fill a bottle with darkness and shine it into a room. Darkness is just what you get when light is absent. You don't add darkness to a room. You simply remove the light. Cold works in exactly the same way. When you put an ice cube in your drink, you're not adding cold to the liquid. The ice cube isn't radiating coldness. What's really happening is that the liquid, which is warmer, is transferring its heat energy into the ice cube. The heat from your drink is making the ice molecules move faster, causing them to melt. The transfer only goes one way. Always from hot to cold. Never, ever the reverse. This isn't just a neat idea or a philosophical concept. This is the second law of thermodynamics, one of the most fundamental and rigorously tested laws in all of physics. Heat energy spontaneously flows from areas of higher energy to areas of lower energy, period. Full stop. Cold cannot flow anywhere because cold isn't a thing that exists to flow. It's just a name we give to a state of low energy. But hold on, if cold doesn't exist, why does it feel so real? Why does a winter wind feel like a physical assault? Why does touching a frozen pipe make you recoil in pain? The answer is buried deep within our biology, a clever trick of evolution. Your skin is covered in a vast network of specialized nerve endings. Some of these are designed to detect heat flowing into your body. Think of the warmth of a fire or a hot shower. Other nerves are designed to do the opposite. They detect heat flowing out of your body. When heat leaves your body quickly, these specific nerves fire off urgent signals to your brain, and your brain, trying to make sense of this rapid energy loss, interprets the signal with a single, powerful sensation: cold. Notice what's actually being measured here. It's not the temperature of the object you're touching. It's not a substance called cold seeping into you. Your nerves are measuring the rate of heat transfer. How fast is your precious body heat escaping into the environment? This explains one of the most common and confusing everyday experiences. Why does metal feel so much colder than wood, even when they're at the exact same temperature? Imagine a metal park bench and a wooden one, sitting side by side on a chilly morning. They've been outside all night, exposed to the same air. If you took a thermometer and measured them, they would read the exact same temperature. Let's say it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or 4 degrees Celsius. But now, go and touch them. The metal feels freezing, almost painfully cold. The wood, however, just feels cool, maybe even tolerable. Why the dramatic difference? The reason is conductivity. Metal is an excellent conductor of heat. When your warm hand touches the cold metal, heat flows rapidly out of your skin and into the bench. Your nerves detect this sudden, massive heat loss and send an emergency signal to your brain: cold, danger, remove your hand now. Wood, on the other hand, is a poor conductor. It's an insulator. When you touch the wooden bench, heat leaves your hand much more slowly. The transfer is gradual. Your nerves detect this slow heat loss and send a much calmer message to your brain, something like, cool, but manageable. No immediate threat. It's the same external temperature, but a completely different internal sensation. And it's because you are never truly feeling temperature at all. You are feeling the rate of heat flow. Your brain has learned to label fast heat loss as extreme cold, even when the actual temperature of the object isn't that low. So, in a very real sense, your body has been lying to you. Not maliciously, of course. It's a survival mechanism. This entire system evolved to protect you. Rapid heat loss can lead to frostbite and hypothermia. So evolution built a sensitive alarm system based on the speed of that loss, not the absolute temperature. Slow heat loss is usually fine, so the alarm stays quiet. But this clever biological warning system has a consequence. It creates the powerful and convincing illusion that cold is a real, tangible thing that flows into you. It makes you think of cold as an invader. But the truth is the exact opposite. It's always your heat, your energy, flowing out. So the next time you step out on a frosty morning and feel that chill, remember what's really happening. It's not the cold getting in, it's your warmth getting out. You're not feeling cold, you're feeling the absence of heat. You're feeling the laws of physics playing out on your skin. A beautiful, strange, and fundamental truth of the universe. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the science of our world. See you next time. Now, let me do what always happens in physics. Let's push this idea to its absolute limit and see what happens. If cold is just the absence of heat, and heat is just molecular motion, what happens when you remove all the motion, all of it, every last vibration? You reach a point called absolute zero, minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 Kelvin. At absolute zero, molecules stop moving entirely. They have no kinetic energy left to give. You cannot go colder than this because there is no more motion to remove. You've reached the basement of the universe, the floor beneath which there is no floor. And here's what's haunting about this. We've gotten close. Laboratories have cooled materials to within billionths of a degree above absolute zero, but we can never reach it perfectly. The third law of thermodynamics says you can approach absolute zero asymptotically, but never arrive. It's like trying to reach the horizon. You can walk toward it forever, but you'll never stand on it. So the universe has a bottom, a place where cold would be complete if cold were a thing. But cold still isn't a thing. Absolute zero is simply the absence of all thermal energy, the ultimate nothing. Meanwhile, there's no upper limit to temperature, no maximum heat. The cores of stars reach millions of degrees. The instant after the Big Bang reached temperatures we write with 30 to zeros. Heat can climb forever. Cold has a floor, asymmetry. The universe is not balanced. Heat is real and can grow without limit. Cold is an absence and bottoms out at a fixed point. Some people hear all this and say, but wait, blankets keep you warm. Aren't they adding heat to you? No, and this is beautiful. A blanket has no heat of its own. Touch a blanket that's been sitting in a cold room. It's room temperature. It's not warm. It has no energy to give you. What a blanket does is slow down heat loss. Your body generates heat constantly through metabolism. You're a 98.6-degree furnace, burning calories and radiating energy into the environment. Without a blanket, that heat escapes rapidly into the air. With a blanket, the heat gets trapped. It builds up in the small space between your body and the fabric. The blanket isn't warming you. It's preventing you from warming the room. You are the heat source. You've always been the heat source. The blanket is just a barrier that keeps your own energy close. This is why two people under one blanket feel warmer than one person alone. Two furnaces, same insulation. More heat production, same heat loss. The temperature in that little pocket climbs higher. The blanket creates nothing. It merely prevents loss. And yet you'd swear, lying there on a cold night, that the blanket is giving you warmth. Your brain insists on it. But your brain is wrong. Your brain is telling a survival story, not a physics story. Have you ever wondered what cold really is? We say things like it's freezing or the wind is biting, but scientifically speaking, cold doesn't exist. That's right. Cold is not a thing you can add, like a cup of water or a spoonful of sugar. It's simply the absence of something else. Heat. Think about it this way. Heat is energy. It's the vibration and movement of molecules. The faster they move, the hotter something feels. So, when we say something is cold, what we're really describing is a low level of thermal energy. Your body is constantly generating heat, and when you touch something cold, like an ice cube, heat energy flows from your hand into the ice. Your brain interprets this rapid loss of heat as the sensation of cold. It's the same with darkness. Darkness isn't a substance, it's just the absence of light. Our senses are designed to detect the presence of energy, light, heat, sound. We don't have a sensor for nothingness. This simple idea has a profound implication. It shows how much our perception shapes our reality. We create a concept like cold to make sense of our experience, even though it doesn't exist as an independent entity. So the next time you feel a winter chill, remember, you're not feeling the cold. You're just feeling the absence of heat. It's a little reminder that what we perceive isn't always the full picture. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this little thought experiment, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.